But Merv is not going to take somebody out because he doesn't like them. If Merv did that, Merv would be in prison right now on death row. Okay? I am going to take people out if they are a threat to someone else. If they pose an imminent threat to someone, I will take what action I feel necessary to stop that threat. And, granted, if it's my child, yes, I'm going to feel a hell of a lot more emotional connection to him. And I will still kill Uncle Fred if it's the bum, and I'll still kill Uncle Fred if it's my child, but I will probably then mutilate the corpse. Okay? You want to do it before? I'm going to remove the imminent threat first. Okay?
Merv, I got something for your box.
Okay.
You got 2 people to kill. If you kill one, you have to kill the other. Hitler and Gandhi.
If I kill one, I have to kill the other. Hitler and Gandhi. So, do I get to know why I have to kill the other?
Well, they both cause enormous death, suffering, and destruction.
Okay. So is the question here who I would kill first?
No, because
if I'm presented with the choice that if I also have to kill Gandhi in order to kill Hitler, would I do it? Yes.
Because Gandhi would forgive you. Hitler wouldn't. Gandhi would want to die.
Gandhi would want to die if it meant taking out Hitler.
Yes, that's it.
That's my view of what Gandhi taught. Maybe I misunderstood the man. I was never actually in one of his classes. but from the reading I've done, I would probably kill Hitler first and then kill Gandhi, but I'd make it as merciful and as least pain as possible for Gandhi. How's that? Or is that not allowed in my box?
No, that's fine. I'm just curious if you do it.
You were just curious if I would do it? Okay, yeah, I would do it.
Because technically speaking, Gandhi caused more deaths than Hitler.
Okay, technically speaking, but then we come back to intent.
Right.
I'm just talking about results.
You're talking about results. And thank you for bringing that up, because that's one of the things that we've been trying to divide here. Results and intent, and it's all part of the big mix that we pour into the blender and make a smoothie out of that becomes us. Because we have all of these different elements that we're pulling from everywhere that make us who we are and make us each individuals and each approach things and reason them out in a different way. Yes?
I have been struck, and it's not something I agree with, but I have pagan friends who are so against negative or baleful magical actions that they won't do anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody was attacking a kid, they take a 2x4 and knock them in the head. What's the difference?
Yeah. There you go. What is the difference? That's why we brought up, okay, you're going down around the stairs after going over to see Uncle Fred and you're carrying a gun and you shoot him, okay? We have established that the majority of the folks here would take out Uncle Fred and or collateral damage. So, if you're willing to do that, why are you not willing to work a piece of magic to take him out? I'm sorry? Did I hear a... Oh, okay. I heard him.
Yeah, but this when he takes out Fred, that's a split-second decision. He didn't stand there and go, oh, this is a good opportunity to kill Uncle Fred so I can get the $2,000. I would think that he would go, boom, I need to save the bomb. This is not calculated.
It's different than killing for money.
It's totally calculated, laid out.
You got imminent danger.
Yeah, danger.
Imminent danger, okay. So, you're sitting at home and you've got your magical 9mm in your hand and your magical 9mm bullet candle, and you're looking in your scrying mirror, and you say, oh, he's going to kill somebody today. I know it because it's there in my scrying mirror. Pop! With the magical 9mm, and you kill him dead.
I don't have issues with that.
You don't have issues with that. Do you have issues with it? No. So it's really not, when you deconstruct this, you know that Uncle Fred has killed 873 bums, fed them to the rest of the bums. You know that he's going to continue to do this. And although he is helping the homeless population, I still can't get over that one. No matter what, you know he's going to continue to do it, so why not just sit down and say, universe, take this asshole out and let me have his money?
People look at it. Oh, sorry.
You go first, or what?
For all we know, Uncle Fred has discovered that there is some mass plague, and he is using these bums as incubators for the cure. And he's feeding these bums themselves so he can keep incubating the cure. He's stockpiling it. He's going to save humanity. And you've just taken
And make a profit.
Wasn't this a Robert Carlyle movie?
Now, people get so afraid when it's magic. Like, I thought somebody was fucking with me once, and I was like, I'm afraid to do anything back. It's not a bad karma. My friend said, look at it like a fist fight.
Look at it like a fist
But
fight.
it's magic. Ooh, everybody. You'd hit someone if they hit you, but you wouldn't send something back at them. For some reason.
Well, for all you know that he's incubating a cure for a mass plague. Okay, I didn't put that in the box, but I'm gonna let you pull your little shoebox out here and play with it for a minute before I slap your hands, okay?
No staplers.
No staplers. Uncle Fred is supposedly going to cure all of humanity by incubating this cure for a mass plague that he's discovered by stealing money from the government. And he's incubating it in the bums and killing them and feeding them to what? To make it stronger, I guess? I remember chemistry and biology, but I'm not sure. Okay, it's okay. It's your box, not mine. Okay, so Uncle Fred's doing this, and what if the bum is not good with this? Okay, because nobody threw this one at me about Uncle Fred. What if the bum's not good with this? I'm sorry? Collateral damage. Every bum under that bridge is named collateral damage.
I am convergent with masses.
It's down to the intent, though. It's our intent to remove him from doing this. A good thing compared to his intent for doing what he's doing to save the whole of humanity. Are we just saving a group of bums, and is that a greater purpose than him doing this to save the whole of humanity?
That's a good moral and ethical question. What is the greater purpose?
To get the
Money.
rims.
To get the
Losing sight of the original argument.
The original argument is to get the rims, okay? So what do we care that he's incubating anything? We want the rims.
I can't drive on the rims if I'm dead from the plague.
Perhaps you are immune to it.
From now.
And besides, he's conducting illegal experiments. That's the government's job, not his.
What if he's the one that's going to cause the plague? So then he can come back and save the world from it.
Yeah.
See, that's where it always gets fun with this whole ethical argument, because there are so many what ifs you can throw in. And that's why I always started off with, there's a box, and I'm going to put shit in the box, and you can't add anything to it because I'm going to give you this scenario. Which one of you was first? Okay, you first, then you.
Alright, back to her earlier comment about the magic being premeditated.
Well, unless he just happens to be one. Some people do have a tendency to carry their firearms, but I hear what you're saying. He
But
did
if
make
you
a.
go into a serial killer's house, you're going to carry protection.
But I mean, but I hear what you're saying. You know, he.
Violence was probably, if not expected, anticipated.
You know.
The scenario said he was planning to come and discuss the situation once again with his uncle. That was your scenario.
That was my scenario. He was planning.
I was going to go shoot him after I discussed with you. You said
But
that he was.
now we get into this whole other thing with subconscious. Now, go ahead.
Okay, now this is where I think when you throw it out to the universe will know that that the uncle is curing a plague. So the universe makes the decision that you're going to fail in your attempt to do what will end up killing your uncle because the greater good of everybody else, and the universe chooses that. You don't have that information, but the universe does. And it either helps you or it doesn't help you based on what could possibly happen in the future.
Okay, I'm going to come back to that in just a second, but this man has his hand up.
The universe has a say in whether the gun fires when you walk down the stairs, and if the door was unlocked when you got there, and all kinds of things that happen aside from when we just say, "Hey, universe, talk to me." The universe is still doing stuff.
If you use a revolver, it's your decision. It won't jam. You
Okay. This kind of addresses the both of you here. This, okay? And this comes down to a matter of personal philosophy. Okay? There's no way in the world I can tell you what's right or what's wrong. There's not one of us in this room can tell what's right or what's wrong or how it is, because you know what? None of us know. We're all on a path looking for it. Some of us have found signs along the path. Rock on, that's great, but none of us know. We're all just working towards it. But here's my view. The universe as a whole is a mindless vehicle. The universe does not have any preordained, predestined setup or plans for us, so it's not going to step in and say, oh, well, Uncle Fred's going to cure the plague, so your gun's not going to fire. Okay? If that is no different in my mind, okay, and I'm just telling you what my view of it, but that's no different in my mind than when a 4-year-old child falls into the lake and drowns, and a bunch of people standing around and say, well, it was God's will, God needed an angel. Fuck that, okay? The child died, okay? The universe didn't do it. It was an accident, but the universe had no control over that. It wasn't this child was needed elsewhere or anything. It was just something that happened, and it was very tragic, but there you go. So the universe, I don't see, now you might believe differently, and that's cool. But the universe, I don't see as stepping in and saying, oh, let me stick my hand in front of the gun and make it not fire, or any of that. It's just not going to happen.
I just had a question as far as, so what you're saying here, like, you do a spell for the highest and best good for all. Does that come into play?
If I do a spell for the highest and best good for me or everyone, for mankind,
then does that come into play, or is that just going to go into nothing? Instead of doing a spell to kill Uncle Fred, to get the money, to get the, you just say the highest and best good, do a spell for something like that.
so am I understanding that if I do this great big spell, would I possibly get 8 good cookies and only 1 bad cookie? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't care about the cookies.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just not understanding what you're asking. I'm sorry.
Instead of doing a spell, such a specific spell, as to do a more general spell for the whole.
Okay. Oh, okay. So just do a general spell for the good of all, and if the universe elects to kill Uncle Fred, kind of thing?
Kill or stop.
Or kill or stop? I understand what you're saying. However, one of the things about magic, when we do magic, like I just said, now this is my view of it, and you can all walk out of here and say, M.R. Sellars has no fucking idea what he's doing as far as magic goes. And you know, that's up to you. Rock on, go ahead. You know, Well, I write books, big deal. You know, whatever. You can say whatever you want to, because, you know, I could say the same thing about y'all. Okay, it doesn't matter. But the way I view magic is if you're going to do it, you need to be specific. There are many, many instances. If we all here believe magic works, and if we work magic, whether it's by prayer or by lighting a candle or by writing something down or whatever, however we do our magic, we believe that it works, and we make it work by just doing some big general whatever. You're releasing this energy out there to do whatever it damn well pleases. Okay? So that becomes a literal case of magic being, be careful what you ask for because you might get it. And if you don't ask for it, you might get something you didn't want. Yes?
So I guess the bottom line is the question that I struggle with all the time is that I'm just a human being. I'm not the divine. I'm not anything special enough to feel like my conscience says it's okay to make that decision and say, you know what? I'm going to be your karma dealer. I'm going to deal you your karma. Because who the hell am I? I'm no better than you. And that's why I'm wondering. I struggle with that.
Okay, well that's where actually we could take this and take that out of the box and tie it into the box from yesterday. And if you weren't at that particular workshop, it was basically the workshop was why you shouldn't build a religion around a fictional work. Okay? And what the basic conclusion was is that we scared everyone off. No. Okay. Well, we'll wrap it up on this one. Basically, what it came down to was, and not everybody believes this, and you don't have to believe this, but it comes down to if religion in and of itself is something that we created, then we are creating the divine, and therefore the divine is within us. Okay? Now, does this give us the power to sit in judgment upon someone else? No. It gives us all kinds of power to judge ourselves and to hand out the karma cookies or whatever to ourselves, but not to someone else. We're all individuals. We all believe differently, but we have to get along, which is where we come back to around the big circle, back to the beginning, where you have your moral code and your ethical code that join together, and you get the more ethics or the ethical or normal or whatever you want to call them. And each person has that basic set, but they interpret them just a little differently. Okay, did we make sense? How many of you did I piss off? Hey, none of you? Oh, you. Well, yeah, you. I always do. Are we all thinking? Do we need aspirin for our headaches now? No? Okay, well then I didn't do my job, because you should be leaving here with a headache. Okay. But I'm glad that, like I said, y'all were probably you were the most lively group on this I've ever had, and I never ever heard that one. I'm going to use that. and collateral damage. Those were two new ones for me. But thank you very much for listening to me, and thank you.